For eons, the Galactic Council held one truth to be self-evident. Emotion was a flaw, a weakness to be suppressed. The path to a stable, advanced civilization was paved with cold, hard logic. Every decision was a calculation, every interaction a transaction. Stability was control. Then, humanity arrived. At first, we seemed manageable, a bit primitive, perhaps, but we learned the protocols, mastered the languages, and followed the rules. Our emotional fluctuations were noted, of course, but dismissed as a sign of immaturity, a quirk we would eventually outgrow. They were wrong. The first real sign came during a tense trade negotiation. We agreed to terms that were, by all logical metrics, unfavorable. The Council's data models predicted we would harbor resentment, that this would be a source of future conflict. Instead, we threw a party. We celebrated the new spirit of cooperation, sharing our food, our music, our stories. The delegates were baffled, flagging it as deeply irrational behavior. Then came the conflict. Two member species were on the brink of all-out war. Without any authority, a human delegation stepped in. They didn't issue commands or present logical arguments. They simply listened. They acknowledged the pain on both sides. They even expressed regret for tragedies they had no hand in. And just like that, the centuries-old conflict dissolved. The Council's analysts were stumped. They couldn't quantify it, couldn't model it. The human emotional output was a chaotic storm of compassion, aggression, fear, and courage. There was no predictable pattern. The Council demanded a formal study. We agreed. Neural scans of human subjects showed emotional spikes that went off the charts, far exceeding any known species. A lead scientist famously stated that, by all known biological laws, a human brain should simply collapse under such intense internal pressure. But we didn't. We thrived. The ultimate test came during a disaster simulation. A station's hull was breached. Panic ensued. As Council members froze, paralyzed while awaiting official directives. The humans acted instinctively. Some started evacuating others, creating order from chaos. Some rushed toward the danger, working to seal the breaches. One human sacrificed their own life to save a group of complete strangers from another species. The Council's official report marked this as an unacceptable loss. We called it a necessary sacrifice. In the aftermath, we mourned. Our productivity dipped as grief rippled through the human crews. Council observers predicted a long-term impairment, a collective trauma that would cripple our effectiveness. Again, they were wrong. We commemorated the fallen. We told their story, and we returned to our duties, not weakened, but stronger, more unified than ever before. Our emotion, our grief, had reinforced our bond. The Council tried to regulate us. They proposed emotional dampening fields for human-populated areas. We politely declined. Then, a real crisis hit. A hostile species, long a threat to the Council, launched a surprise attack. Every defensive model predicted catastrophic losses. We volunteered for the front lines. We fought with a ferocity the galaxy had never seen. We adapted to enemy tactics in real time, driven by a blend of fear, anger, and a fierce, protective instinct. We shielded non-combatants without a single order being given. Our emotional response didn't hinder us. It made us faster, smarter, and more effective. After the victory, Council observers watched in stunned silence as we offered comfort and aid. Not just to our allies, but to our captured enemies. An emergency session was convened. The conclusion was undeniable. Humanity wasn't broken. We were just built differently. Emotion wasn't just noise. It was our core operating system. Fear was a warning system. Anger was a targeting laser. Compassion was our social network. Grief was our backup data, preserving the memories of those we lost. And hope. Hope was the power source that allowed us to push on when logic dictated we should quit. We don't suppress our emotions. We integrate them. This allows us to make moral calculations in an instant, to sacrifice without command, and to show mercy without weakness. Quietly, the Council began to change. Human advisors were requested for meetings. disaster response teams started incorporating emotional cohesion training. Slowly, the galaxy became a more collaborative, more resilient place. The Galactic Council never truly understood us. In the end, they stopped trying. A final report was filed, one that would change galactic doctrine forever. It stated, simply, emotion is not a weakness. In humanity, it is infrastructure. And the galaxy is safer for it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from across the cosmos.